Hi, welcome back to the Console Explosion Intercast. In weeks prior, we've had the luxury of speaking with the filmmakers behind the project Love in the Time of Monsters and acclaimed animator Ralph Bakshi. However, this week we have something kind of, I would say, a little different for you. We have an individual by the name of Burns the Dragon and another individual by the name of Little Miss Risk. Little Miss Risk is associated in a variety of film projects, while Burns the Dragon is an individual involved in some really intriguing performance pieces. So, sit back and enjoy the Console Explosion Intercast.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Console Explosion's fourth Intercast, and we have special guests today. We actually have two of them, two for the price of one. We are joined with the awesome Little Miss Risk and Puff the Magic Dragon's brother, Burns the Dragon. No, not quite. My name is Castic. I am here for the hosting of this, and the people who are the ceremony masters here is, of course, Ian, the historic nerd.
How's it going?
And Antonio from Good... Fucking, I can never get it right.
Hello, Retro Reviews. Come on, man. You've done this, like, how many times?
A million times. We've done 50 podcasts together, Intercast together, videos together, and I still can't get... I can't speak it. I'm sorry. I apologize. But nonetheless, we're here with some awesome folks from beautiful Vancouver, British Columbia, which I assume that you guys have no snow?
None.
No,
None.
we've got quite a bit of rain, but low on the snow.
Lucky. I am from Ottawa, and we are just hitting 50 centimeters of snow in 2 days.
It snowed once the entire winter. One day.
I miss that. Living in Victoria, when it snows, everything shuts down. Nobody goes to work. Nobody does anything. I love that. Here,
There's a quarter of an inch of snow outside. I'm calling in sick. Won't be into work today, boss.
Yeah, in Victoria it was great because you phone and they're like, nope, don't even bother coming in because of the snow. I miss that. Here it's you trek and you gotta go. But nonetheless,
we have no snow here, man. What are you talking about?
You never have snow.
We never have snow. Down here
No-
in Guadalajara, Mexico, no snow at all.
No snow in Guadalajara, Mexico, just like there's no cats in America. Anyone know that reference? No?
Nope.
No?
Never heard that reference. No.
No?
All of us.
American Tail. Fievel Goes West.
Oh, fucking yeah.
Yeah, the whole song, No Cats in America.
Oh, Cats in America. Yeah, no, that triggered some childhood feels, that's for
Okay.
sure.
There you go. But nonetheless, I am going to throw this over to wonderful Ian, the historic nerd. Take it away, buddy.
Hi, Ian.
Hi, how's it going? Yeah, it was kind of interesting. Jared was introducing me to your guys' content. I was kind of genuinely surprised. But of course, we lost the setup list for what we're going to talk about. But I guess if you guys wouldn't mind introducing yourselves and telling us what you guys do.
Awesome.
Sorry.
All right. I'm Tristan Risk, aka Little Miss Risk, and I also perform with the Caravan of Crepes that we are talking about today, as well as Burns the Dragon. But what I also mostly am known for doing is film work. American Mary, ABCs of Death 2, The Editor, Frankenstein Curated Bikers is coming out this year. So there's a number of film projects that I've done and am in the midst of doing that I'm looking forward to. So that's me.
And I'm Burns the Dragon. I do mainly stage shows, like freak show performances and some circus performances. Lately, I've been putting together a circus troupe to start like a full-on carnival down the road. But yeah, we have like jugglers, contortionists, sword swallower, you name it, caravan, creeps, of course.
I know, Antonio, you had questions for him about this.
Yeah, well, first of all, let people know that we're gonna put all your links down in the description below when you're seeing this on the YouTube page. So if you have any questions, I mean, we look at your pages. There's a lot of information there in the contact if you want to contact you guys. So you should have that. Yeah, I mean, trying to go to your guys' past, right? I was very curious, right? Because how does one, right? I was looking at you, Burns the Dragon. On your video you have on your page there, you just walking on glass and you're suspended on
the hooks,
yeah. And how does one start doing anything like that? I mean, how does that start?
Okay. I started as just a regular juggler, and I did something called contact juggling, which is a different form of juggling and a little bit harder. But I made friends in the juggling community, and then one of my friends was also in the sideshow community. He did glass walking, and he had his tongue split, and he introduced me to somebody else who did the tongue split and does suspension and all the things. And I saw it, and I was just like, that's awesome. And pain doesn't bother me as much as it bothers other people, so I just kind of took to it really easily, and it's something I'm good at, so I just did it.
Yeah, I guess that was, I'm trying to, get in my head, how would I even start, right? Try to walk on glass, or, as you said, split your tongue.
It was a gradual thing to...
Yeah.
Sorry?
No, go ahead.
It was a gradual thing to a certain extent, and then I kind of like jumped off the deep end.
Yeah.
So I started practicing with the juggling, and then I went on tour, and while on tour I did my first stage show, and that kind of sparked something in the sideshow side of things. I saw how quick I could pick up certain aspects of sideshow because pain didn't bother me. So I gravitated to that quicker than I did with the juggling.
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense. Gradual. That I get that when it's like that.
Well, it's not like he walked into Home Depot and was like, "Hey, look at those hooks. Let me just shove them in my face."
No, not at all.
What do you think? Like, you don't just wake up one day and be like, "Hey, look at Hellraiser. Let's just, all of that, right?"
Well, there's some acts I do that.
Yeah.
Like the blowtorch, I just kind of, I looked it up on YouTube and I was like, oh, okay, and I just kind of did it and practiced on my own, and then I brought it to the stage.
Yeah, this is the thing, is like the juggling takes so long to learn the skills to do it at all, let alone do it artistically and fluidly, that when you find that you've got something that you can like make the leap to immediately that you're good at, and if that happens to have pain suppression of some kind, that just happens to be his gift. So why question it?
Yeah, so I guess that's probably the key right there, that you have a lot of tolerance to pain.
Yeah.
That's the only way you could even start, right? If you don't have that, how could you even do it?
As a performance art, I agree. To do a suspension, you don't have to have a high pain tolerance. I feel anybody could do it, but it's more of a personal thing. You wouldn't do it on stage. It would take a much longer process.
Yeah.
Whereas I kind of just flick a switch.
Yeah. Oh, that's very interesting. And you there, Little Miss Risk, I know that you're a LARP player. Is that correct?
I was.
What do you mean you were?
Busted.
You're not doing that anymore?
Well, I started when I was 16, and that was some time ago. But I mainly played World of Darkness, Vampire the Masquerade, Werewolf, Changeling. Never Wraith, though. Wraith was just too depressing. I was already LARPing. I didn't need to depress myself anymore at that point in my life.
Okay.
So the one I'm familiar with is the Vampire the Masquerade, because they also made a video game with that.
Yes, they did. I remember that.
Is anything, and I know actually the community for that game is actually still strong today. I've actually, a friend of mine actually still plays it and is like, oh yeah, there's like 2,000 people still on these servers. Like, that's ridiculous for a game that's come out so long ago and has been able to.
But it's a great game, and there's just so many different storylines you can explore with it too. That I think that's why it's lasted so long, is it doesn't limit itself too much. And everybody's gonna want to play something with vampires versus werewolves. It's cowboys and Indians. It's us versus them. And I mean, what gaming group doesn't just like a good dungeon crawl from time to time? So, or you can make it as like cerebral as you want too.
Mm-hmm. So speaking of like vampires and all that versus, obviously the world of Hollywood. You've been in it. You've been in some amazing movies, horror movies in the land of Hollywood. Has Hollywood fucked up vampires?
Well, Hollywood's fucked up a lot of things, to be fair, but I mean, it's not my place to tell one person someone else is their vision. You could argue that they fucked it up with Bela Lugosi's Dracula, where people will say that's the definitive vampire movies. I'm gonna say though, it's not so much the vampires that I feel have spoiled certain things. It's just well, pop culture has a bad hand at ruining everything. The mainstream taint stuff. So, but I mean, they did it to vampires, zombies. I feel mummies are going to be really big next year. That's going to be the next big thing. So, just so you watch on your radar for all things like kind of ancient Egypt.
Actually, they're actually remaking the original Universal Mummy. That should be coming out here, I think, 2017. They're remaking that. They've decided to reboot it again. So we'll see how that works.
I think they're
What
planning.
did I say?
I think they're planning. They're actually going to try and do a monster movie Avengers kind of thing.
Complex.
Yes, and that's another thing. What Ian brought up is they're actually trying to do a Universal Monsters version of the Avengers. So they're going to be rebooting Werewolf, the Wolfman. They're rebooting the Invisible Man, the Mummy, Dracula, and the Creature from the Black Lagoon.
Wow.
And all these are being rebooted, and they're going to do some sort of like big monster collaboration, like Avengers style, which I think is cool. But what was it? The one with the kids.
Oh, the
Monster Squad?
Monster Squad.
Yeah, I love that movie.
Wolfman has nards, right? Yes, that's the one. That's it.
Oh, that's good stuff.
Yeah. Well, it would be interesting to see what they did for this, if it would be just total over-the-top CGI to hell, or if there might be something organic about it that would be like really interesting. Sometimes these reimaginings can be awesome, and sometimes they can be awful.
I know for the Creature with the Black Lagoon, I think Tom Savini is looking after the creature effects.
Oh, wow.
So he wants to keep it, as he was saying, as close to the original,
That's
but new. So that's good.
We're bringing back the practical effects. That's great.
And I think that's something Hollywood's missing, is that practical effects. Yeah. What you guys do, practical effects. You know?
That's very practical.
The most practical of the practical effects, actually.
Exactly, right? It's real. And I think that's what a lot of, I think even in most horror movies, like, I was talking with someone who does a horror movie channel. We were talking about the Friday the 13th series. We're talking about the originals, the first 4, and how, the practical effects in those were good. You watch the movie not for the story. Obviously, you know the story. Kids go to the woods, they get killed. That's it, right? But you have interesting characters. Each one of them has their own little cliques. They're not all douchebags, They're different type of people. They go into the forest. Of course, they get killed. But you're looking at the way they get killed, because each way was different. You're like, wow, that's really cool. How did they do that? How do they do this? Yeah. And I think Hollywood has really screwed that up, especially for the remake. Some CG kills, nothing that was really like, oh wow, that's crazy.
That's original.
Jason X is a masterpiece. Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead. You were gonna say, Tristan?
Oh no, I was just gonna say, like, I find it more interesting and original with the practical effects, when it's just like, CGI just doesn't have that raw organic quality to it.
I liked League of
Extraordinary Gentlemen.
I really like that. That's
the movie that made Sean Connery say, "Fuck it, I'm not making movies anymore."
Yeah, that was the one.
I liked it.
You were probably I have a friend of mine.
I liked it too, actually.
Oh, you know what? Screw you. It's the worst movie ever. I don't understand. It's such a bad movie.
What are you talking?
Dude, I grew up on H.G. Wells, man.
About it. Some of the things that man has worn and done in films, he doesn't get to question League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, I feel.
there's just certain things of that movie that irk me. But nonetheless, I mean, it's like Sean Connery, great guy, quit acting because of that movie. And I mean, he was going to do so much. There was so much more he could have done. But no, that movie ruined it.
Don't blame the movie. That's Sean Connery's decision.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. Plus, I mean, he was already. I mean, there's a lot of people that could do his job, so don't you worry. There's a lot of people in Hollywood.
So here's a question for you then: if you like the movie, why? Tell the viewers, and we want one person to, in the comments, to agree, to say, wow, I never thought of that, I'm going to like this movie. This is your chance to redeem that movie. Go.
I was at the right age to enjoy it, I guess, if you're going to be so, what's that, abrasive?
That's Jared, right?
But I know, I just enjoyed I've enjoyed it from start to finish. There's nothing about it I didn't like when I watched it for the first time.
So you can still be able to watch it and still have the imaginary glow of, wow, this movie's awesome, right?
Kind of like Spawn,
Hot helps.
where yes.
What's up,
yeah, I really enjoyed Spawn when I first saw Spawn, and then now I watch it, I'm like, wow.
That's a really bad cape, yeah.
Yeah.
that happened.
Yeah, well, I feel the same way about The Crow. Like, I've got a special soft spot for The Crow because it was like that moment in my adolescence where I was like, oh, yes, Brandon Lee, like soulfully playing guitar on the rooftop. And I watch it now going, soundtrack was really good to this. So was fight sequences. And, you find something positive to focus on, and that's what you take away from it, and it stops it from ruining the thing for your childhood.
Exactly.
Yeah, you have to look at it as a child of that exact moment, right? The movie, when it came out, it was a fun movie. What are you talking about, Jared? Of course, if you compare it nowadays with, like, the Avengers, of course, it has nothing to it. But back then, come on. It was a fun movie.
See, I love that movie because I grew up on Jules Verne. And secondly, Sean Connery is, like, the most amazing actor, in my opinion, because you watch, like, Red October, and he's like, I'm an Irish... No, sorry, I'm a Russian fleet captain, and he's like the same accent, and then like he's an Irish cop in The Untouchables. He's like, Bigora, I'm an Irish captain. It's fantastic. But because Jules Verne and H.G. Wells, I grew up on those stories as a kid, and to have those come together in like this Avengers type film, I guess it would be the other way.
It's like steampunk Avengers.
Yeah, steampunk Avengers. Actually, that's probably the best way to describe it.
Yes.
To me, it was awesome because I just love that, and also that like 1890s aesthetic. I've always loved that kind of look.
Absolutely, I'm a fan.
That's me.
I guess it could be worse. It could be Wild Wild West.
There you go. A lot of positive comments.
You know what? The secret shame of mine, I liked Wild Wild West because of the steampunk aesthetic, and we're West Coast, so Wild Wild West is something we're used to. I've spent a lot of time in Montana and the Midwest, so
Giant spider machine, come on.
Yeah, who doesn't want the giant, like, steam-powered spider machine? Shit,
honestly,
like,
I thought that was really good.
After Burning Man by now.
I thought the whole idea, like, taking the whole steampunk thing, that's something that I think Hollywood needs to embrace more, is the steampunk idea and the steampunk aesthetic. I know they kind of tried to jump on the whole world of the hacker and cyber aesthetic with hackers.
But I'm not gonna lie, that influenced me too. Like Angelina Jolie with the like super short pixie cut and all like hot androgynous in that movie. Like,
yep.
The only time.
Yeah, really?
Swordfish.
I liked her in that Maleficent. She's really hot in that.
Really, Swordfish, Antonio?
I mean, the guy's getting a blowjob right there to hack. He has to hack before he finishes. That's fucking brilliant right there.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I think it's something that I'd love to see them embrace more. Just
what are you
properly
talking about?
embrace.
Blowjobs while people hack? What?
Yeah, more blowjobs on movies.
Yeah.
That's what they
one
need.
of the things I think would be great to see in that aesthetic is we've got the steampunk and films kind of more stylized like that old Art Deco film noir era, like Sky Captain and the World of Tomorrow. Loved it. The Rocketeer, loved it. Going back to kind of some of that really opulent old school glamour. Just dig it. It's so great.
Hmm. That's another great area of that they can make modern movies. I'd love to see have modern movies made in those type of eras and still keep them like here. It's the year 2016, but we've never really pushed ahead in
Yeah.
electronics, or maybe we have, but it's still in the whole idea of like BioShock.
Here's my
your,
Steam.
your wood Nintendo.
This is my wooden Nintendo. Have you played
Oh my
Nintendo before?
gosh.
Do you know it? So I made this out
Yeah.
of oak.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, so this is my
That's
Steam.
really nice.
Yeah, it works perfectly fine.
Wow.
It's all wooden. See that?
That's awesome.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I took joinery, so like I used to make stuff like that all the time.
But I've never seen you make a old school NES system.
No, I didn't make. No, I didn't make cool things. I made tanks for my snakes.
That's
like
really
drivable
cool.
tanks.
Okay, a wooden tank, that'd be fantastic. This is
had
actually
glass.
amazing.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
yeah, I dig that aesthetic a lot. You know, going back for the first Atari, where it had like a wooden grain in it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we need to go back to that. I don't know why everything needs to be plastic now.
Or like the station wagons that had that giant lap of wood all the way around them. Yeah,
Yeah,
that
yeah.
was a good time in
I'm
car
picking up the
manufacturing.
stuff. Yeah.
I think you guys are really dating yourselves.
Oh yeah.
I'm probably the oldest person here, and I don't like wood things.
I'm older than you, so.
Touche. So, let's talk about some of the movies that you've done. Out of your list, what is the most one that you're proud of, that you're just like, that's the movie I've done, top of the line? Go.
I'm probably going to say American Mary on that one, because that's still, to date, the one that's kind of gotten me the most attention, just because it's so unusual and there isn't anything like it, and it is really well done. So I think that was probably why it's had the most impact on my career. But I think there's a few other things coming down the pipe that might attract some rivalry to that spot. But we'll see. It's anyone's game right now.
Yeah, and that was American Mary was done by the Soka sisters?
The Soska sisters, yes.
Soska
Just
sisters.
twins.
Yes. Also Vancouver natives, and
Mhm.
and really the two that are pushing what I like to call the Canadian horror scene. You know, that's something that
Yeah. They're
doesn't
definitely
happen.
at the forefront of that, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think Vancouver is probably the best place for that, because I lived in Victoria, and then I moved and I lived in Calgary. And of course, Calgary is all about big buckles, big hats, big boots, and horse movies, you know, and and old westerns and things like that. Of course, move out to I'm living in Ottawa, and the movie scene really isn't big around this part, more or less, you know, Toronto and whatnot. But you know, to see, you know, Canadian filmmakers push the envelope in such good movies like American Mary, and you know, have, you know, local talent as good as you guys, as good as yourself have done, is great. And I think it's something that, you know, needs to be done more. I'd love to see more, you know, Canadians push that envelope and really take something away, you know, to be the masters of, right?
Right.
Why do
Definitely.
you guys think it's unique out of the Canadian horror scene, as Garrett really pointed out?
I'd say one of the things I find about it is the sense of humor about it. Like, we've got a distinct sense of humor that's dry like the British, but not, and like, it's kind of dirty, but it's not as like in your face as the Americans is, and it's kind of, it's like New Zealand humor. It's like really kind of acerbic, but not too dry in its delivery. So the horror scene has a lot of that to it, and it's also got a lot of really fresh, young independent talents, like the people under the age of 30 who are doing these films is really, really nice, because for so long it seemed like there was kind of a major gap there between the old school Canadian horror filmmakers and the new school, and now it seems like there's like all these young people who are super inspired to just get out there and make these films. It's getting stronger and stronger with fresh blood. It's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
That is great, yeah.
So something to ask would be, for someone who's watching this, who, I've been in acting, I've done a lot of stuff. Nothing as big as yours. I think my biggest thing is always extra roles. I was in Final Destination 2. I was in Trapped. I did a couple episodes of Lonesome Dove, Dead Man's Gun. So, woo, claim to fame. No, but what would you say to the young people who watch this, who say, what's the best way to jump into it?
I would say just do it.
Yeah, just do it.
Yeah, given what we have with technology when it comes to cameras, phones, even editing software that you can get for free for computers and stuff, it's so easy to put something together and make your own channel for YouTube, for Vimeo. Even just do stop motion things, to do like little the vines. There's lots of different things that you can do to express yourself and kind of, put yourself out there if you're not sure what you want to do, that you just want to get involved. But there's huge resources out there now that are available. So I'd say that anybody who wants to do it can do it. They can just even put something out there on Facebook and say, hey, I'm interested in doing this or helping. Is there anyone in my area who wants to do this too? So I think that there's lots of opportunities out there. Mm-hmm.
And I think that's the great thing about how the technology has changed, especially in the world of filmmaking. The YouTube, the collaborations, that ability to do stuff like that. Like we here at the Console Xplosion, all of our members are all over the place. We have them all over the place, but yet we come together and we're able to deliver a good product. So that's the best thing is just doing it. I think that's a great thing.
I have there's a Mexican director that said that the only thing that is not stopping you to make a movie, it's money, right? I mean, it's yours. You can do it, right? As you guys are saying right now. As you said, phones right now take amazing video. It's not like they used to be, right? They take video better than your video camera that you had 10 years ago. Mm-hmm. So the only thing that's stopping to do that is yourself.
Yeah. So I think that I'm looking forward to seeing everybody's new films when they see this and realize that yes, they can.
Post them.
Yep.
Post them in the links as a response to this video, because they will watch them and they want to see what you can do.
Yeah, what you get.
Exactly. What do you got? So let me think. So here's a question. I gave this question to Ian, but I think I'm just going to ask it, unless Ian wants to. About
can't remember which one you asked me to ask.
All right. I'll ask. Because you've been in movies, if you were to direct your own horror movie or any type of movie, what would you do if you were given let's say, a $50 million budget? What type of movie would you do?
Ooh, I would do probably a high fantasy movie, either like Labyrinth, where it's a mix of practical effects and puppets.
With the dragon.
With dragons in it, mermaid. And or the other thing would be to do a space opera, sci-fi, something based on one of Anne McCaffrey's novels.
That's pretty good.
Anne McCaffrey, did she write the it's like War
Dragon Riders of Pern?
Oh, okay, never mind. You're in a different book entirely.
Oh no, she wrote a lot of books, but she did lots of things that were always kind of high drama, kind of, high fantasy space authoring, which I really enjoyed in my formative years.
Okay.
I was
So
always
what
like,
about-
if you're going to make a movie about the Dragon Riders of Pern, I need to play Lessa before I get too old.
Like, hurry.
So what about you, Burns? You're given $50 million budget. You're saying, hey, we want you to make a movie. Any type of movie you want, what would you do?
I definitely enjoy fantasy. Anything with a dragon in it is my favorite. But if I had to choose something without a dragon in it, I would probably do some sort of like fantasy adventure of some sort. I really like Lord of the Rings style, but I wouldn't exactly go that whole like dwarves fighting people. But yeah, fantasy.
Were you a big fan of the movie Reign of Fire?
I don't know. I think yes.
Yeah, where they went after dragons with
Yes.
pickaxes. That
Yes.
was...
Yes, I was.
Matthew
Yeah.
McConaughey
Yeah.
shaving
I
his
pretty much
head.
like anything with a dragon. It doesn't matter how bad it's made. I like dragons.
There's a lot of dragons in this house.
I was gonna
lot.
say I actually liked that movie. I thought Reign of Dragons was good. A shitty
Oh, yeah.
dragon movie is Aragorn.
Yeah,
that one sucks.
that was disappointing. I read the books, so I was like,
It was pretty much Star Wars Episode 4 with dragons.
yeah.
Womp womp.
But I really enjoyed the books.
I heard the books were really like fantastic, and then
Yeah.
of course Hollywood does what they do best: screw it up and just kind of just watered it down.
My Little Pony has a dragon, or has dragons there.
That's true. That's true. And
Yeah.
Spike is purple and green, whereas Burns is...
I'm purple and green.
Yeah, Burns' hair is purple, or is
Like
green, and then his tattoos are purple, so he literally could cosplay Spike without having to try too hard.
There we
I have
go.
nothing against.
Therefore, I must cosplay Rarity. I'm like, so Lockheed is a purple space dragon. My boyfriend is transitioning into a purple dragon that listens to Psytrance. So therefore, I am Kitty Pryde.
There you go.
Nice.
There
So
you
right
go.
now, you
My
just won a lot of points. We have a member that is a fanatic of My Little Pony.
Awesome.
Yeah,
He is a
Have to get
full-fledged
that
brony.
yeah.
He's a full-blown
My
brony.
cousin's a brony.
Yeah, like if he was, we'll give a shout out to Tyler, the video game hunter. Obviously, everyone who's seen our podcast, you'll see him talk. His whole behind him is nothing but ponies.
That's amazing.
He loves it, and I was actually going to ask him to be a part of this because I said, "Hey, we're interviewing a live dragon," and he flipped out. He's like, "That's amazing! How's this guy a dragon? Like, that's awesome! Like, you know, he's a big fan of the furry community. He's a big fan of the pony community." So, and, you know, he flipped out about that, but you know, I didn't want to scare you guys away. So, unfortunately, Tyler, you just get to watch it. You don't get to talk to them.
Sorry about it.
His name was mentioned.
Exactly, you know, you get the name drop. Just say, "Hey, Tyler," just give him a good wave.
So
Hey, Tyler.
Hey.
There you go.
a
So-
good question would be, how does one transition into a dragon?
Okay, well, I've been doing. I get body mods, so I have my tongue split.
Nice. Yeah, there you go.
I have my eyes tattooed.
Wow.
At the moment I only have one silicone horn because during one of my performances I had an accident and it got cut and rejected, so I have to put it back in. But I used to have two horns. My ears are pointed, and I also got them modded on the earlobes as well to make it more dragon shaped. I'm planning on getting tattooed head to toe as a dragon. But currently, I just beat the world record for the longest tattoo session. I got wings, a spine, calves were done in my forearm. It was 51 hours.
Wow.
Jeez.
So did, like, the artist trade off with another one?
No,
Nope.
he also got in the he also was going for the record.
Same guy, 51
Oh.
hours.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we both. It was hard for both of us.
Yeah, Brandon
was-
Fancy from Lucid Tattooing and
Yeah.
Design came out and did that, and like everyone's like, "Were you allowed to sleep?" And like, "Oh my gosh, you can take so much pain." And I'm like, "That poor tattoo artist for 51 hours must have been completely
Yeah.
delirious."
Well, was
And-
he, like, doing meth to stay up, or what?
No, neither of us did any drugs.
Oh,
Like,
wow.
there were- maybe Tylenol. I had it
Fair
made me throw up.
hmm
Were
I-
you not
my
worried
body-
that would you not worry that the guy would just get in sleep and just get
You
tattooed
just
like
yeah, just go straight down.
Well,
Yeah.
just like-
The way I put an email out looking for artists that wanted to do it, and he replied with, "I used to be on an oil rig and our shifts were 3 days long. I'm the perfect guy. I own a tattoo shop, blah, 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 blah." So it was like, it was meant to be.
He was like, oh.
Oh,
Wow.
so that guy was he had the endurance for it for sure. That's amazing.
Yeah, and he did it. And
And prior to him coming out, he held like a 24-hour tattoo-a-thon, like to raise funds. So he was just like tattooed for 24 hours straight and had these deals on like special like $100 flashes or something.
yeah, it was like
that.
a 15-minute tattoo for $100 or something.
Yeah.
So you tattooed your eye, so like in the iris itself?
Not the iris, the sclera, and it's not the same. He didn't tattoo that. So I'm sponsored by 2 different people. One does my body modifications. His name's Russ Fox, and the other one does my tattoos, and that's Brandon Fancy. Now, the only tattoo that Russ did was my eye tattoos because it's not like a tattoo gun. It's an injection in different spots, and it spreads.
Oh, okay. I was sitting there, I'm like, my God, I couldn't imagine how uncomfortable that would be having a needle repeat hitting you in the eye. So I was like, I don't even know how that works.
Yeah, no, it's an injection, but it is multiple injections. Not quite as many, of course.
Mm-hmm.
In total, I have had 10 total.
But the ink moves around in his eyes, so it changes from day to day.
People come up to me like, "Is your eyes faded?" I'm like, "No, it's just there's more ink behind my eyelids right now." There's some people, "Oh, did you just get it touched up?" I'm like, "No, it's just more. It's darker today.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like a galaxy in my eyes."
Wow.
That's awesome.
By far my favorite, or it's a toss-up between my eyes and my tongue are my favorite mods.
Your tongue is my favorite.
Courtesy.
We will not ask why, but
Party tricks, obviously.
Yes, party tricks. I'm really good at tying knots with cherry stems.
nice.
It's just like having hands.
Anyway.
It's kind of...
So after the
Yeah.
after the body art, what would be next?
I don't think I'll ever finish. I'll either be doing more mods, newer mods. Like every year, people add or make modifications to how they do their modifications. So I can always get touch-ups and get new artwork over top of the old stuff that is kind of like faded or going away. If I were to do that, I'd probably get it lasered off first and then get a new tattoo over top. But I don't think I'll ever be done.
Wow.
So this is a random question for you. So most of your skin hook stuff, it's on the back and like your legs, right?
Yeah, it's easier to perform, I would say, with doing it back. There's more movement. I can swing around. I can pick people up, all sorts of stuff. Whereas I have done other things where I've hung from my ankles, kind of thing, or my calves, and I'm upside down. But that was for more artistic things. So it depends on the performance itself. But you can hang anywhere.
This is
so it's more tender.
Mm-hmm.
This is a really odd kind of related thing, but there's a Native American tribe out here towards Wyoming that one of the things they do is they put a large piece of wood through the skin here above your pectoral muscle, and then they'll hook a rope to it, and then they'll swing around a pole on it until it rips out. So it's like they're becoming a man ritual kind of thing. I was just curious, like, but you mostly do the back for fear of
You can do
ripping,
your chest, though. I mostly do the back because of performing, but I do want to do a chest suspension. You just generally you don't jump right into the chest suspensions because they're more painful. Just simple as that. But I would have no problem doing it. I just haven't gotten around to it. There's so many suspensions.
Mm-hmm.
There's so many ways.
I was thinking that'd be trippy.
So question.
Yeah.
Oh no, go ahead. Keep going. Sorry.
I was going to say that the one time I was ever able to shut my brain off was during a suspension, because my brain is very active and very all over the place, and it kind of like calmed.
Just focuses you.
Wow.
Yeah.
So I was going to ask, when you're talking about the tattoos, are you going to the level of Eric Sprague, like the full face? Do you know?
Oh yeah,
the Lizard
I'll be
Man?
head to toe.
Head to toe?
Even where you can't see.
Have you had a chance to meet him?
I don't believe so. I know the Enigma. I've met the Enigma. I have Have not met the Lizard Man. I only know them by their like stage names.
Their stage names.
Yeah, I'm pretty bad with remembering actual names.
I've met Eric before he got his face done. Nice guy, nicest guy in the world, pretty much. But yeah, I thought seeing some of those modifications for people who've never seen them, it's crazy. But you know, when you have a passion for it and you know what you want to do and you know your end goal, I think it's awesome. I think it's absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, and that's the other thing too, is you see a lot of people who get tattoos and they're not really mindful of tattoos or placements. They're like, oh, I like this, I'm going to get this done, or I'm going to get this and I'm going to get this done. Whereas
kind of looks like 5 comic books at once on them.
Yeah, it's a lot going on. Whereas when I see someone who's got like a full body piece that like is the whole, like this is all going towards a final finished all over project, I love that so much because that shows so much dedication to like this is just kind of who I am. And I find it's one of the most attractive modifications out there. Given that Burns started young as well, I think he's going to have a lot more time to do it, whereas someone like myself, getting into it now, doesn't have the same kind of time before their skin starts to change too much permanently.
You couldn't get into it anyway, you're an actress.
I know. They keep telling me what I can and can't do. I'm like, I want to get this done, and they're like, no, you can't. I'm like, I want to get this tattooed, and they're like, you can't. I'm like,
you can do a suspension.
Which is what I have been doing.
See, I think some tattoo artists need to be fined. No more tribal art, no more barbed wire, and no more back butterflies.
Yeah, the little butterfly that likes to like drive the 2 like tribal designs on either side that rests just on a lady's tailbone. It's just like, oh.
Yeah, those got to stop. Tattoo artists need to be fined for those. Someone's got to start policing that. Like.
I would love if someone here had a tribal and they're just like, oh, sorry.
Yeah.
I'm looking at you, Antonio. We know you have a tribal on your back and butterflies over your butt.
You better believe it. I have a tramp stamp.
Yep.
But it must be for you guys, very liberating. As you said there, Burns, when you are suspended, it just like everything in your mind, it's clear. Right.
Yeah.
That feeling must be like very liberating. To get everything that you're working for. Your end goal, and I don't know. I just hear you say it. I feel it that it's freeing for yourself.
Yeah.
Right.
Very, very freeing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You can say it.
Oh yeah, no. I was going through. I had like a kind of a bad year, a lot of emotional turmoil that I went through the last year and a half, and I did my first suspension at the beginning of December, and that was also by Russ Fox, who was Penis Guy and the flesh artist consultant for American, very interestingly enough.
We're all connected here.
Yeah, I know. It's a very small town in Vancouver. And so when he did the piercing for me and I did the suspension, it was a huge release for me emotionally. And I know a lot of my friends will do ayahuasca. They'll do like some kind of spirit journey. They'll go to church to, a couple of them to confess or whatever. But everyone has a way of having that kind of spiritual cleansing, and that's kind of how it worked for me and what I got out of it. And it was a really wonderful experience. But it showed me too that I have trouble giving up control, because when Burns and Russ were pulling my rope, I had a harder time letting my feet go off the ground than when I was able to pull the rope up myself and pull myself up. But I think that's just because I do the aerial hoop, and so I always want some kind of point of contact. Like just having my limbs free was just like unnerving for me.
Yeah, it's a different experience. You could have all the weight on your hooks, except your toes are touching the ground and you just can't lift your feet off the ground because your mind won't let you. Just like you can bite your finger and break it, but you can't.
Yeah.
It just won't, it won't let you. So
yeah,
it's hard.
I guess it will be the same feeling when eventually we have self-driving cars letting go of the steering wheel. That will be the feeling, right? You're just going through it. You have to have your control there. I guess that's what the same feeling. Yeah.
They might make it like limousine where you just don't see the front, so you just step into the back, so you don't have that thought of there's no driver.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah, there was a couple of moments where I've been in friends' cars before, and they've been driving, and I've been working the phantom brake that is not there. So it's hard to let go of those feelings sometimes.
Yeah.
But a question for Little Miss Risk here. So it looks, I'm looking at IMDb, and like you have a lot of projects in post-production.
Yeah.
So like, were you really busy last year?
Yeah, it was
This
a
year?
pretty busy year last year. Actually, it's been getting progressively busier and busier with each passing year, which is pretty awesome. I go into production at the end of this month for Elias Ganster's Leia, which we did crowdfunding for last year, and we've finally been able to go to camera with it. So that's really exciting to have that coming down the pipe and going down to Seattle to work on that for February and March.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry. My favorite title here is Puppet Killer. Sorry, from what I'm reading on the thing here.
Yeah, that was just a little tiny Easter egg in the film too.
No.
Well,
Did
another thing.
Go on.
Go ahead, Ian.
No, I get back to nothing.
No, just wanted to say, where is the demon cat?
Explain the story of this demon cat.
Yeah, there you
He's
go.
Japanese.
Can you explain to the people what is that?
Yeah, he is a Japanese demon cat, and he is made by a very talented artist out of Japan, and he was a gift from Hiro, who was one of the two gentlemen who worked on the Call Girl graphic novel and is part of Horror Shocks out Japan, and he has been really supportive. Actually, all of the Japanese crew have been really supportive of the horror lately, between myself and Gigi and the Saskas and you and just the independent horror community in general out here, which is great because I have a lot of connections to people in Europe, but I haven't actually met anybody in the horror community in Japan until this point, so this was awesome. So I came home to a little buddy, and he's been chilling with us here at the house. And my cat Garfield does not know what to make of him. I think they're on good terms, though.
But I guess a transition, like speaking of Japanese stuff, because this is the console explosion, like were there anything in particular from Japanese culture, like anime or games, that kind of inspired like how you feel about fantasy or anything like that? Like one of my favorites from when I was younger was Record of Lodoss War, which is almost like a D&D style anime. Like did anything like that kind of influence your love of fantasy or anything along those lines?
I loved anime. And my gateway drug was definitely Sailor Moon, but beyond that, I got into like Ramna One Half. I really loved Battle Angel Alita. I was a fan of Vampire Hunter D, Vampire Princess Mayu. I also liked a lot of the Gundam Wing series that they had, because those were like crazy high drama cartoons, which were highly entertaining. And lately, I've gotten into Death Note, which is just a really dark little tale as well. But I think I need to revisit Inuyasha.
Can you guess which one's my favorite?
From where?
Everybody was like having some kind of.
What would you guess would be my favorite?
Dragon Ball GT.
Bingo.
Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah, all the Dragon Ball Z series, but yeah, Dragon Ball.
I was trying to think if there's any dragon particular anime that's really dragon focused, and I was like, is there?
There are.
Yeah.
There should be. But no,
There's
it's
two
like,
different, multiple different dragons in Dragon Ball Z.
I'm actually excited to throw out this little herring here, that I will be part of a live-action badass burlesque performance based on an anime this spring. But I think that's about as much as I can say it at this point. But it will be one show in Vancouver, and we're really looking forward to making our old-school favorite cartoon extremely updated and gritty with some really amazing performers from town.
ooh,
Wow.
that's amazing.
Okay.
See, burlesque is perfectly. It's going pretty good in Canada. Just over February or just over Valentine's Day, they did a Simpsons burlesque here. A burlesque based off the Simpsons Valentine's Day episode. So that was pretty interesting.
That must have been pretty entertaining.
Weird.
Yes.
Yeah. But it's that kind of weird that I'd be like, yeah, I kind of want to see what a burlesque show like that's going to look like. Like, I'm curious, and if Tijuana Donkey Show, I'm in. Like, let's do it.
That's looking at you, Antonio. You're the closest
Why?
one there.
That's supposed to be Tijuana. I don't even not even close to that.
You got something, Guadalajara monkey sex or something? He's turning
Donkey
red.
Show.
I think
Donkey
Idaho's
show.
way too prude for anything along those lines.
Well, we know Idaho doesn't have anything besides potatoes, so
Yeah, it's just
don't worry
potato
about that.
fields and my one
Oh,
house.
they have
with internet.
Napoleon Dynamite.
Yeah, we had that, and oh god, we had that. My favorite thing ever was actually, this is going to be, sorry, completely off topic. We actually had a state legislative session where they were talking about how proud they were of that movie and how it showed Idaho in a positive light. I'm like, really? Culturally stagnant, positive, but all right.
4-H club all the way.
Yeah, it's like, oh dear. That's where I live.
So with your current projects you guys have going on, of course you guys have coming up the Carnival of Creeps. Is that both? That's both of you. Correct?
Caravan of Creeps.
Caravan of Creeps. I'm sorry.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's both of you, right? So explain.
Yeah, I kind of run it, and
I was just gonna say, explain to everybody like a good rundown. This year, it's a selling point. Here we go. Explain to it, because I mean, the Caravan of Creeps. The name itself is catching. Like it's great, and you know, we want people to check out your website. We want people to see the show. Is this going to be a Vancouver, BC only, or are you looking to take it across Canada, down in the States? What do you think?
I would describe it as being like the dirty, glitter-encrusted gypsy punk version of Cirque du Soleil. We've got different talent from a number of various groups in Vancouver, and that includes 2 Guinness World Record holders. We've got one person who's given a TED Talk. We've got Cirque du Soleil alumni. We've got international burlesque performers. Sword swallowers. So we've got contortion freaks. Yeah, we've got a very wide spectrum of not just circus but sideshow as well. So there's a lot of times where there'll be burlesque shows with circus theme. This is actually a circus collective of different artists who've come together to do a more circus sideshow show.
We also team up with live musicians like Blackberry Wood, who do like a circus gypsy style dance thing as well.
Mm-hmm.
So we like to add musicians with DJs with performance as well.
Yeah, so we're really into having like kind of not just like a show, but like a full experience when you come and see what we do.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Like, so just situated. We're not going to see this across Canada. You're not going to see it.
We are planning a tour this summer across Canada, specifically. The first major tour this summer will be Canada, and then future down the road we're planning a bigger tour across maybe the States or even across the ocean, Europe and other places.
Yeah, and hopefully New Zealand in coming years.
Yeah.
Too. So.
But I just bought a tour bus, so I can take it on the road.
Something that just needs to just be right with Screamfest in Calgary. What they do all the time. That would be something that if you got on, because they're always looking for those live shows to keep that entertaining. Like that's something, you know, they've done a few of the freak shows or, you know, type of really bad shows sometimes. I used to go to those all the time, the Scream Fest. So maybe not something we'd see at Stampede though.
Well, actually, we were planning we might be there for Stampede doing some busking and performing as well. Burns is known for doing a silver statue man with his contact juggling balls and can frequently be seen as the silver statue cowboy.
Yeah, if you've ever seen the silver statue cowboy where all the fireworks are in Calgary on Canada Day, that's me.
Really?
Yeah, we do a number like a range of kinds, not just freak show. We can go right up to like kids friendly circus.
Unless I'm there because I say fuck a lot.
Stick the microphone.
There you go. So the kids got to learn at some point.
You're right, and I mean, parents are probably taking the kid to see Deadpool anyway, so you know, wasn't the first person to ruin their ears.
I love reading that tweet where it says the parent had to leave early because they didn't realize the movie was for adults, and then someone writes underneath, they should really work on making it known to people that it's an adult-only type movie. And the person underneath says, so, like, making it rated R?
Yeah. No kidding. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, we had that discussion about that the other day, and I'm just kind of like, you know what? What do I know? Fuck up your kids. That's no skin off my nose, but just God help them if their snotty little faces are making noise when I'm trying to watch Deadpool. I'm like, I don't care if you bring your kids in. I'm like, more power to you. You're probably an awesome parent. However, if your kid can't shut the fuck up while the movie's on, I will not hesitate to go out to the management and I will squeal like a fucking pig.
You're like the heroes of the cinema culture that we need.
Yeah.
Just saying.
I'm not above throwing popcorn at someone if they're being an asshole and then calling out someone's kid if they're also being an asshole. I'm like, that kid knows he's being a dickhead. Take him out of here.
See, I did that too. I went to a movie, and these people ahead of me were just making noise. They're just talking through the whole movie and just being overly rude. I got mad. I threw my popcorn at them. I went and got security. Security came, checked out the situation, hauled me out, and said, look, you're sitting here and watching Despicable Me 2. These kids have a right to talk. I'm like, you know what? Fine. So I left.
My money's no good here, huh?
Yeah, that's actually, you know, myself, I'm a recent parent, and we've not gone to the movies just because of that. I don't want to have to, you know, go with my. I know he's gonna cry. Why would I even take him there? He's gonna bother everyone. I'll just swallow it and then go whenever I can. But not fuck everyone else's experience. Come on.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or, like, you get someone to look after the kids. That's also, like, that's what my friends do. They're like, hey, do you want to look after my small child while me and my partner go have some adult time where there's pauses in the conversation and not the poopy diapers? And I'm like, yeah, sure, I'll let you escape for a few hours to reclaim that freedom. No problem.
So have you guys seen the new Deadpool movie?
Not yet.
It's on the list.
We were so busy the last weekend with her and doing Fetish Factory in Florida, and I was like, I had 4 different gigs in Victoria myself, so we're all over the place.
Yeah, we were representing on both the east and west coast, like about as far continentally as you can be from each other on what's supposed to be like the most romantic holiday, but we kind of celebrate that shit most of the time, so you know.
There you go. See what keeps the people together. Body modifications and splitting your tongue. You got it first here at the console explosion, so that's what everyone's doing wrong.
Yeah, I'm like, just if you get a chance to make out with someone with a split tongue, I highly recommend it.
Yeah, their tongue will give your tongue a hug.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. So when I see you in Calgary, Burns, that's what we're doing. I'll take you up on that offer.
You ready? Hug her up, sunshine.
I'll hold you to that.
So,
gay chicken.
do you guys, Antonio, Ian, do you guys have anything?
My question is, like, when your tongue's cut, so you have independent control of either side pretty effectively? Oh, that's trippy. Yeah.
The further the split, the more control you have. I originally had a split that was almost double the length of it is now, but it's re-healed.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm going to go and get it re-split, and because there will be scar tissue there, it'll stay.
That's more man than I am. I wouldn't even want to do that.
Are you going to get a tail?
Yeah, that's not... Pardon?
Sorry, are you going to get a tail? A tail.
Well, I got it tattooed on me. I did want to originally. I was thinking like maybe having a piece of silicone that I could put in it and have it like a puzzle piece that just makes a longer tail, but sitting down would have been an issue.
Yeah, logistically, that's kind of hard.
Yeah, it would just be this long, weird thing sticking out of me.
Because pants.
And it just, I can't see it being attractive. I can't see it being what I want. Maybe later down the road when animatronics get really good, I'll have like Doc Ock kind of tail, where instead of his arms, I'll have a tail that does what I want, like a monkey.
So it'd be like Shallow
That would
Hal
be
when he has that tail.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like that's kind of like maybe if I ever get to that, if technology can catch up.
With Burns' acrobatics, he's already like Nightcrawler, so it's only fitting that he has the tail on top of that.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's great. Antonio?
Oh man, honestly, the thing that was the most intriguing to me was how do we get to this point, right? But guys, it's very fun to hear all your stories and how, honestly, I hear you and I can feel your freedom doing this, what you are loving to do. So I think it's great that you're transmitting this to anyone who's hesitant into this. So very good job.
Oh yeah, do what you love for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's the biggest thing is like, exactly, do what you said, do what you love if you want to do it. And that's what we always talk about, people who want to make videos, do what we do, just do it, right? Because everyone's like, oh, well, how do you do it? I'm afraid to do it. Just do it, right? Like you said, go make a movie. Yeah. Just go do it. Go.
Give yourself permission to do it.
Yeah, you don't need to. Nobody's gonna say, "Oh, you did it wrong."
Yeah. It's like at least you did something.
Exactly.
Practice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, practice makes perfect. So,
actually, wait. Speaking of dragons, hang on one sec.
Oh shit. Uh-oh.
The other dragon.
So while he's doing that, I'm gonna whip off some things for you guys in the term of horror movies, and you're gonna give me the answer of what you think would be more scarier in a real life situation. Okay?
Okay.
So,
sure.
Killer dogs or killer cats?
What size?
We'll say, cats obviously, small house cat form,
Okay.
and dog we'll say Cujo.
What did I miss?
I'm gonna say cats. They're really pointy.
Yeah, cats would suck. They'd have you like you wouldn't be able to move, and they'd know that you're in pain, and they would still eat your legs, starting at the bottom and work their way up, so that you stay alive. Where dogs are just gonna go right for the throat.
Yeah, like you get like a neck snap by a Cujo, like dog, you'd be over. But yeah, cats, it's like death by 1,000 paper cuts.
Yeah, I would definitely go with cats.
Yeah, I agree with that because not only that, you gotta remember cats can fit almost everywhere, so you can't even hide.
Yeah.
True.
Have
Yeah.
you guys ever seen Tales from the Dark Side?
So their claws are gonna be shitty, literally.
Have you guys ever seen Tales of the Dark Side?
Yes.
Where the cat jumps into the guy's throat and then bursts out of his chest?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's just like, okay, I'm gonna give this a pass for suspension of disbelief because I haven't seen this before, and okay, sure, why not?
But speaking of dragons, I'm in the army, so my wife designed our guidon for my platoon.
Oh, that's awesome.
Very
It's
nice.
the 204th Dragon Slayers, so we just incorporated a dragon into it.
Nice.
Excellent.
Yeah.
That's badass.
Yeah.
Dragons are-
A possessed doll
Mm-hmm.
or killer trolls?
Oh, the doll for me. Ugh.
I don't know. I feel like a doll. I would just like. I have snake tanks, and I could put it in my snake tank, and the snake would eat it. Whereas the ogre would just kill my snake. So I'm gonna go with ogres.
All right. Exorcist type possession or ghosts?
Oh, sorry, my dog's talking.
I'm gonna exorcism. I mean, like, if it's in me, then I'm.
You have no fighting power.
Well, no. Well, it's hard because I think both for me it would be a test of wills. Like, Like, if you put me in a haunted house that I had, like, invested my money in, I'd be like, oh, fuck no, this is not happening. I will drag the motherfucking Pope in here, and I will, like, fucking exorcise your ass out of here. Don't even think about it, and then that's how I got possessed. So I think it was a compounded problem for me, really.
So it's like the demon money pit.
Yeah. Yeah. This isn't from bad to worse sort of thing.
I don't know. I would have to say being possessed, because not being able to. My whole thing is having full control over my body, like with pain and everything else. So like, to take that away from me is like my whole center.
Cool. And we got 2 more. Aliens or fast zombies?
Oh, fast zombies.
See, I don't have nightmares about zombies. Whenever I have zombie attacks in my dreams, I'm enjoying it. And I want alien, like, I know aliens already exist, and they're just smarter, so it wouldn't scare me. It would be like, yes, aliens, take me away from these stupid people. But so, like, it's I both enjoy both, but I would be more scared of zombies.
Awesome. So the last one is real life situation, and if these things were real, or these villains were real, you have Freddy Krueger, Jason Voorhees, Leatherface, Michael Myers. Which one?
Who's the scariest?
Yeah.
I'm gonna say Freddy for me, because he comes at you when you're sleeping, and I like to sleep a lot.
Yeah, Freddy's got this one.
Yeah, the other guys, I'm like, I can get away from the slow walk stalker dudes, no problem. Guy in a chasing me with a chainsaw, I do lots of cardio, man. I can outrun that. Like, that chainsaw is fucking heavy.
I will walk fast and not trip. That will be all I need to do.
They just walk fast and don't look behind you, and you pretty much got it taken care of. Just brisk pace.
In a zigzag pattern, because they would throw it.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, I got a serpentine.
Yeah.
Jason is known.
Yeah, Jason just does this. He's not like.
He's not stupid.
Yeah. Unless you're talking about part 8, Friday the 13th, where he takes Manhattan, where he just seems to teleport to wherever. The only part of the movie I never understood is like he just teleported wherever. Guys climbing up the mast, all of a sudden, boom, he's there, and then boom, he's on the ground, and then boom, he's in the other room.
Yeah.
It's like, what is going on here? The like jump cuts.
Got it. The thing I love the most about the movie is he wrecks that boombox. Sorry.
Yeah. That and Jaws 3D are my 2 favorites for just like what the fuck factor and like how much money did we feel like we needed to make to have around. Yeah, Piranha 2, the original Piranha 2 is just hilarious because I'm like, oh great, they're piranhas with wings. Somebody.
I don't even think I've seen it, the second one.
The human
seen the second one?
More sense to me than the piranhas with wings. I'm like, oh, okay, so like,
we're kidding.
Piranha makes sense, or in the fact that you want to genetically modify a killing fish to fly. Okay. Sure, but I'm a lot more willing to believe that human centipede could exist because it could be just like, I don't know, like a fetish ad gone wrong in Germany, you know, like, and honestly, like, that's, like, it's context, right? If they'd done that shit in Germany where there's, like, a lot of extremely kinky people, I don't think you would have even had to kidnap them. I think you would have had people be like, sign me the fuck up for this shit. That is my jam.
Well-worded Craigslist ad.
Pretty much. So, we'll start with Burns here. This is your chance to self-promote with your future dealings, as well as where can people check you out. So all your social media.
I have a website, Burns.
Jazz, so.
Yeah, I got a website, burnsthedragon.com, pretty easy. Facebook, facebook.com/burnsthedragon, again, pretty easy. You can find my troupe, Caravan of Creeps, which is what we've been talking about. That's Facebook mainly. I have Instagram, Burns the Dragon, and Twitter, I believe.
Yep, so anything Burns the Dragon related, it's easy to
find.
And
YouTube, yeah.
And YouTube, yes.
Just Burns the Dragon, type it in, and I should pop up.
Yeah. And if it's not, then Burn the Imposter.
There you go.
For myself, you can find my website at littlemissrisk.ca. You can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Little Miss Risk, and you can find me on Facebook under Tristan Risk. So feel free to look me up. You can also look out for my burlesque troupe, Sweet Soul Burlesque, and you can check out my website for upcoming dates for film and for live shows, as well as my blog, which is highly entertaining.
Awesome. So again, I want to thank you guys for joining us, for being a part of this Intercast number 5. Yay!
Yay!
You know, like I've done, we've done the director and producer of In the Time of Monsters.
Love in a Time with Monsters.
Love in the Time of Monsters. Yes. They had Kane Hodder and Doug Jones, to the 2 biggest names that were part of their movie there, which was about killer Sasquatches. Great movie. If you guys haven't got a chance to see it, great movie. We've done Moto Glass, which was a gentleman that does etchings on glass. We've also done.
Don't forget about Ralph Bakshi.
Oh, we did Ralph Bakshi. So everyone who doesn't know that, Fricks the Cat, Cool World, Lord of the Rings, the animated, Wizards, which again I just Fire and Ice. If you want to see a Wizards 2, because he wants to make a sequel, pick up his new Coney Island off Nemo, because he wants to make a Wizards 2, and if he makes enough with Coney Island, he's making Wizards 2, and he gave us an idea of the plot, which was pretty cool. So,
awesome.
If you're a fan of that, check it out. Check these guys' stuff out. Burns the Dragon, Little Miss Risk. Again, thank you for being a part of our Intercast. It's been a fantastic evening. But yeah, this is Jared with the Console Xplosion saying sayonara. Throw it to Antonio.
Yeah, so I'm Antonio from Gokado Retro Reviews. Gokado is Gokado on YouTube. Twitter at Gokadito, Gokadito. And on the Console Xplosion, of course.
Yeah, and I'm Ian, the Historic Nerd. You can find me at www.historicnerd.com or at Twitter at historicalnerd or on theconsolexplosion.com. Thank you guys very much for coming. You guys have been awesome.
Thank you so much for having us.
Yes.
And again, in the words of them, just fucking go do it.
Yeah.
Do what you love.
Yeah.
Done. And then we'll stop it right there.